Hello, ladies. There's something very interesting I'd like to discuss with you today. And this is called promise to marry. Promise to marry. So suppose you're a lady and a guy comes into your life and the guy says that he is interested in you and he would like to marry you. And he begins to engage you in the acts that shows that you are already together. Example, you begin to have sex together, you begin to visit him at his house, you begin to wash clothes, you begin to do certain things that shows that you could like cook for him, do the dishes for him, you go and do shopping for him, you begin to assume the role of a wife, and you do not put everything in writing to protect you. He can easily leave you, and later on he will go and marry another lady because there is no contract or there is no agreement between you and him. So if a guy comes into your life and the guy is interested in marrying you and he wants to engage you in acts that shows that you are already married together, example like the sex, he wants you to cook for him, he wants you to wash clothes for him, do the dishes for him, go to shopping for him, and all that. All these actions shows that the man is interested in you and wants to marry you. But before you begin to assume all these responsibilities, if you have to, or he requires you to do so, then it's important that you enter into a form of contract which is called promise to marry. Promise to marry. And this contract is very important for you ladies, because if you don't enter into a form of agreement with the guy before you begin the dating process and he leaves you on a flimsy excuse and he goes to marry another lady, there's no way you can seek compensation in the legal court. So it is important that before you begin the dating process, you draw his attention that there is a document that you want him and yourself to sign. And this document, you can sit down together and plan some of the things that is allowed in the relationship. Suppose maybe you want pecs, you can include that pecs, kisses, hugging, those things, you can include them and say that perhaps they are restricted. Or you can include certain things like washing clothes, or perhaps if he's even paying you money up and down, he's spending on you and not etc. You can include all these things inside the document to show that you consent to the form of money that he gives you, which shows that he is entitled to marry you in the future, such that there would be faithfulness between you and him, because there is a form of document that have been agreed upon by two parties, that is you and him, that he is intending to marry you. And the lady too, there are some terms and conditions, responsibilities and stuff that can be included in the document that shows that you either consent to certain actions or you do not consent to certain actions. So that whilst the relationship is in the pipeline and it's still moving on, you know your limitations, your bounds, so that it will not lead to a situation where he will be having sexual relations with you and in the end he will leave you for another lady. Both of you, based on the terms and conditions that have been agreed upon, can seek legal compensation. So this is what is this is what you ought to do. I'll leave a link of a sample of this particular document so that you ladies out there can download it and can look at it, and it will serve as a basis for you to also form a form of promise to marry contract between you and a guy if you begin to date, which is very important, because today we see that a lot of ladies will end up cheating on the guys, leaving them to go marry another guy, or a guy is also leaving ladies to go marry another lady, and it is a whole problem.
So wo pe bia bia wo betumi ahyi obi amana dɔw ɔne watwempona na wɔware umritia wa bi mu dia ene na mekamfo Afro date e de ama wo. Aphrodite ewo school nwanwaso bi a ye frɛ no Mponatwe University a ema won teteye ene nkyerɛkyerɛ ewo won Mponatwe ene wawareɛ mu. Aphrodite ye app nwanwaso bi a ebo nkrofo mo ahia omadofo ewo wiase afa na nyina. Aphrodite dating app papa.
So to avoid this problem, it is important that you enter into a form of contract which is called promise to marry, and both the terms and conditions of both parties are placed inside the document. What is allowed and what is not allowed in the relationship is placed in the document. What remittances, monies and everything that will be paid consistently to show that the man is the bona fide person to be responsible for the affairs of the lady should be stated in the document. The weakness of the lady should be stated in the document. The strengths of the lady and the guy should also be stated in the document. Where they may have to compromise would also be stated in the document. All these things will go a long way to help both parties so that none is hurt when there is a breach of this particular contract. So I'll leave a link of the document in the description below. You can download it as ladies or gents and look at how it is and make sure that you enter into such a form of document or a contract. If any guy that comes into your way or any lady that comes to your way, if you're a guy listening to me, because it will protect you, to guide you and make sure that none is hurt and each person can seek legal compensation when there's a breach of the promise to marry contract. So I thank you for watching me and see you next time. Bye bye.